All right, folks, welcome to the streamed semi-final match for the women's division in the Australian Ultimate Championships 2024 Division II in Shepparton, Victoria. On your screen at the moment, Ellipsis Pilcrow, who we have seen earlier on in the tournament, put on a fantastic performance. There's a lot of aggression, a lot of athleticism from that team. We've seen some really great connections from that side. Some very confident handlers as well. We've got Kelly Brown in there. Katie Locke doing a great work, picking apart the midfield. Stephanie Mulcher, Danielle Marshall as well. Oakley Mullen, another huge asset for that Pilcrow side. And they are facing off against Adelaide's Zag Theory, who we will see on our screens in just a moment. Now, just want to make it clear for the record, my name is Blair Monroe. I'm here with the ULTI.TV crew who have absolutely no horse in this race when it comes to the winner of this match. There's no bias whatsoever. I'm going to do my best to remain as impartial as possible. The fact is, I love Ultimate. That's what I'm here for. And Women's Ultimate in particular, it's precise. It's clean in a way that Open's Ultimate is not. What's not to love? So, we've got Ellipsis Pilcrow with the disc for the pull to come out on defense. Zag Theory with an opportunity for an early 1 point on the board. We'll see what kind of pressure Pilcrow are able to pour on. Mullen touching down just inside the field. An early centering pass to Enting Hawk. We're seeing Pilcrow stick to a loose match defense. Puts a shot up the line. Big collision, but it looks like it's going to be a Pilcrow turn. They have an opportunity here. Mullen. Pressure from Keller, gonna be enough. Zag with a long field ahead. The big shimmy fake comes around, finds Zoe Zoes. Can't make the connection continue. Enting Hawk aggressive on the mark, facing down Kelly Brown. Big shimmy fake, decides for the inside shot. Wild goes up underneath it. But Annie Longley is gonna be able to take it down. Pilcrow with an early break to start off the game. The score is 1-0 to Ellipsis Pilcrow. Pilcrow to come out on defense a second time. They were able to generate a turn. They gave up possession. They fought back, got it again, managed to put it away. Can they do it again? Now in our recent Open semi-final when we saw Fishwick Unit face down against Stoke. The game went very heavily in favour of Fishwick Unit. We'll see whether or not Zag Theory have what it takes to keep it a more tightly contested game against Ellipsis Pilcrow. Pilar Rogers. Finds Tiffin, but they can't make that second connection work. Pilcrow putting a big shot up. Uncontested for Nicholas Smith, and the score, Pilcrow 2. Back-to-back breaks over Zag Theory. Great work by Smith to just reel that one in. Plenty of space, but also great work by Pilcrow to recognize that with the angle of that throw, having that additional coverage of the second receiver just off Smith's left shoulder on the deep cut was going to be a great option just in case there's any wind that picks up. Now, conditions are very, very stable here at Shepparton Sports City in Victoria. But the higher those discs go, the more play there's going to be with regards to the wind. Mullen with a pull again. Touching down early with a little bit of skim. Not too much roll, just in front of the brick mark. Wild calling for a side stack. We're seeing some isolation movement from Zag Theory. The shot's going up. Mejia not quite able to keep it in hands. Goes up for it and manages to get a touch. I do love to see a well-executed called play. Such an assertive, confident receiver, Gio Mejia. And now the defensive pressure is on. Kelly Brown on an upline cut, goes high with a blade, all the way over the top to find Keeley. Comes back to Mullen. Inside shot's going to go too long. This is an opportunity for Zag Theory to swing back with a 1-2 punch of their own right on the sideline, far sideline, about 18 to 20 meters in front of the end zone. They can do it in only a few throws. They've got the skills. It's brought them this far in the tournament. Inting Hawk. A little bit of communication between the players. Claire Dowling available as a reset option. We see the rest of the Zag Theory downfielders pushing all the way to the back of the end zone to try and create as much space as possible. But we'll see what they're able to do with that space once this conflict is resolved. Reminder for those watching at home, Ultimate is a self-officiated sport. It's up to the players to make the calls and determine what the ideal, or what the appropriate outcome should be. And we've seen a spirit timeout called. So we're seeing a spirit timeout called. Players unable to come to a conclusion, but not in a way where it would be resolved by simply contesting the call. So very, very difficult situation and a fantastic opportunity here. I mean, this is probably the first spirit timeout I've ever seen, but a great work by Zag Theory calling, recognizing that there's significant conflict. Maybe there's something underlying it, and it's important for the teams to come back together. And I'm going to go sneak over and see if I can get some more inside information. So we're going to go radio quiet for just a little bit. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure here at the Australian Ultimate Championships. The reason, the cause for that spirit timeout was relating to a little bit of ambiguity about a call. And, Ailsa Enting Hawk just wanting to settle things in and make sure that that does not escalate, that lack of clarity, and the attitude being brought to those calls. Enting Hawk available with the reset around Divine Dowling. Finds Wild. Puts the big shot up over the top. That's going to be a score to put Zag Theory on the board. What a wonderful conclusion to a little bit of a heated moment there on the field. One of the reasons why it's very important for players to take responsibility for making calls as clearly and communicatively as possible. Wild dedicating that first assist to everyone but Mike Palmer here at ULTI.TV. Zag Theory to come out on defense now. And that spirit timeout also coming on the back of some other incidents throughout the tournament. It's just a responsible thing to try and get out in front of it. But we're going to see Pilcrow slip through to Sarah Davis. Pinned down by an aggressive zone, but Chatterton has it. The hammer comes up over the top. Wonderfully fielded. Edwards to Katie Locke. Back to Davis. Chatterton. Switching to a match defense now. No, staying with the zone. And that's going to be enough for Pilcrow to put it away. 3 to the Zag Theory 1. Well, it looks like a call's been made. Number 41, Ferguson on the mark for Zag Theory against Liana Edwards right on the doorstep. The defense scrambling, trying to take away space. Batista with a run through is going to put that one on the board for Pilcrow. So we are 3-1. We're going to get a chance to see that again. Davis peeling away, trying to clear that space for Edwards. Despite a great chase from Severin, Pilcrow are going to be up by 2. Oakley Mullen with the pull. Keeps it low. Touching down around the brick mark. Pushing towards the far sideline. Inting Hawk with the big line drive. Who's underneath it? The turf. Unsure where that disc came back in. It's a little bit of communication there to figure out where the disc needs to be brought back inbounds. But we hear the call of zone from Zag. Pilcrow players setting up, trying to maximize the width, particularly around a zone defense like this. Angarita pushing deep, trying to test the offense here. The conditions are still enough that a shot over the top is viable. Leggett puts it in hand, goes to Longley. Quick reset across, finds Nicholson. Mullen available as a reset, but it's a high shot over the top to Leggett again. Low, through, can she get there? Angarita, not quite. A great vision by Mulcher, just needed a couple of centimeters more height underneath that disc for a score. Would have been a powerful position for Pilcrow to be in, but Zag Theory now have an opportunity to push back. Inting Hawk with the big around. Finds Mejia. Some great little swivel cuts there, but it's going to generate the turn, and Pilcrow have a chance. Looks like Zag Theory going to make that adjustment to play match defense. Mulcher under pressure. And it's touched down. Zoes immediately moving back onto offense, calling for a stack to form. A vertical line of players behind, keeping it quite compressed. Mejia on the far sideline, marked by Mullen. The hands moving, calling. Inting Hawk can't secure the reset. Brown puts the shot up for Longley and finds her. Pilcrow 4, Zag Theory 1. Annie Longley, just a phenomenal cutter in the deep space for Pilcrow. An absolute asset for Ellipsis. We're seeing a lot of great defense from Pilcrow. Applying enough pressure, trying to generate little gaps in the Zag Theory game. Small opportunities that they can capitalize on. Sarah Davis with the pull. Fielded by Thompson. Puts a big shot up. It's got the float. Can she get there? Not quite. Cara Killen in hot pursuit. Plunkett goes for the line drive. Picked up by Keeley. Katie Locke comes through. Big backhand, but who's underneath it? It's gonna find turf. Middleton, early recenter, finds Severin, pushing towards far sideline for Stevens. Comes back for Sia. Now Middleton again puts a big shot up. Who's under there? Such a great territorial option. Gemma Ferguson trying her best to chase that one down. Looked close, immediately looking to reset the front of a zone. Stopping the Hucks. They've noticed that that's the play. That's exactly what Zag Theory needed. Recognizing that Pilcrow are favoring a long ball offense at the moment, stopping that immediately. A fantastic defensive decision as we see Stevens, Middleton, and Sia working in the upfield space. The high shot over the top to find Stevens. Severin comes back, not able to secure the reset, but recognizing what Pilcrow are trying to achieve on this point, deciding to commit to that zone, allowing the reset to go across, shutting down the Huck. Not enough. It's going to be Gillett. Continues across, finds Locke, but she's abandoned in the downfield, waiting for players to move past. Batista calling for it near sideline. Gets it by way of Davis. All the way around to Locke again, and a laser show through, but it's eaten up. Zag Theory in it with a shot. And a timeout has been called. Now, I've been informed, with what certainty I cannot say, that the statistics on completing a point and managing to score after calling a timeout midpoint heavily in favor of leading to a turnover instead. And so this is an opportunity for Zag Theory to be more than a statistic. Currently down by 3. They've managed to generate the turn. There's an opportunity for a called play. We've seen a couple from them so far. Really using the width, generating a side stack, creating a couple of isolation cuts to gain yards up the midfield, and then having someone peel off to try and continue that. But after a timeout, we're going to see the offense set their structure and then allow the defense to respond.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
And speaking of stories and live coverage, Zag Theory to set up on offense. Ferguson underneath it. Huge take. Momentum carries her right to the doorstep. Puts it through. That's Zag Theory back in it. Not just another statistic. Zag Theory with a huge long field shot. Reeled in by Ferguson. Comfortably finished off. Kara Killen with the score. Pilcrow to send out their offensive line for what feels like the first time in a long time. Zag Theory to come out on defense. Inting Hawk with the disc. A low pull with a little bit of inside edge. It's going to touch down around 2/3 of the way down the field. We see a horizontal stack forming early from Pilcrow. Kelly Brown to pick up and initiate. Able to get the reset back, but the Zag Theory zone trying to keep things compressed. The high blade up over the top. Well read. The big crossfield shot finds Brown. Uncorks the cannon with a lot of float, looking for Edwards. And she's found her in the end zone. Pilcrow to go up by 3 now. The score is 5-2 to Ellipsis. What a great rundown by Liana Edwards. What an athlete, folks. Mullen with the disc to pull for Pilcrow. Nice amount of float under that one. Touching down, nice and gentle. The Pilcrow. Able to work through. Middleton finds Ferguson on the up line. Pilcrow keeping a tight zone. Pilar Rogers goes up over top. Finds Clark, hoping to continue up the far sideline. Decides to swing back center field. Puts a big shot up to an uncontested reception. Is Sam Bates with the reception. What a put as well. Mullen too busy tied up with another assignment to make a play. Zag Theory back within 2. Still Pilcrow's game, but only for the moment. We're going to see a race to 15, folks. After a lengthy spirit timeout in which I taught the ladies how to play a Rochambeau, double-handed, courtesy of Daniel Thornton. Zag Theory put it up. A very nice pull. We're seeing a two-handler set back. It's Davis. Batista not going to get it. Zoe Zoes with the clean block. A run through and an opportunity. We've got Inting Hawk in the offensive half, marked by Chatterton. Chatterton, nice and active. A little bit of face marking from Keeley gives an opportunity. One-handed slide. It's going to lead to a turnover. The pace is picking up. The disc is comfortably received by Keeley. Drops back, finds Locke. Puts it out to Keeley. And that's going to go 6-3 to Pilcrow. Two points away from half, Pilcrow to come out on defense. Katie Locke with the assist to Keeley for the score. Nicholson with the disc to pull. Keeping things nice and low. An aggressive chase from Edwards is going to get in position, but not enough to stop the first pass. Pilar Rogers working in the upfield space. Finds Thompson. Stevens available as another option on the near sideline. Stall count's getting high. Aggressive defense from Brown. And that's going to be a stall out uncontested by Zag Theory. As they say, you only need to play 10 seconds of good defense, and that's enough to generate a turnover. Smith puts it through, finds Longley in the midfield. Zag Theory a little bit slow to wake up. They're going to let that one through. It's Pilcrow with another score to take them one away from half. 31 minutes into our game. Longley. Inside shot. What a score, finding Danielle Marshall in the end zone to take Pilcrow one away from half. Zag Theory to come out on offense. The whistle goes. It's going to be Oakley Mullen with the pull yet again. Nice and low, touching down at the handler space. Quick recentering pass to Enting Hawk, comes wide, finds Wild. Zoes working with Wild. Decides to go by way of Keller and Enting Hawk. Back to the midfield. Davis on defense now. A little more aggressive. Trying to stay reactive to Wild, slamming on the brakes. Zoes has the disc now. Loses yards, goes all the way back around. High shot, far sideline. Mejia. Finds Wild. The disc tips from the hands, and it's going to give Pilcrow an opportunity at the halfway line to push back and take the first half of the game. Batista cutting hard. And there's a touch, but Batista's going to be underneath it anyway. Huge high forehand. Plenty of time for the defense to get underneath, but it's not going to be enough as Stephanie Mulcher pulls it down to take half for the Pilcrows. What a phenomenal first half of the game here in the Women's Division semi-final. The second of stream games and the third day of our tournament coverage at the Australian Ultimate Championships Division II in Shepparton, Victoria. My name is Willem Garnier with the ULTI.TV crew. What a phenomenal game we've got ahead of us so far. Pilcrow very front forward, really putting out their best feet early on in the game. We're going to see how Zag Theory make adjustments, talk each other back into the early stages of the game that saw them keeping a much better pace. Hopefully, the second half is going to show us what Ultimate is all about. But until then, Willem Garnier with the ULTI.TV crew, proud partners of the Australian Flying Disc Association. Huge thanks to all of the work they've put in to make this tournament happen. We'll be back after a short break for the thrilling conclusion to let you know who you're going to see again in our women's final later on today. Be right back.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe. ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
and
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
And we are back, folks, for what is going to be an exciting second half of the women's semi-final match in your stream coverage of the Australian Ultimate Championships 2024 Division II in Shepparton, Victoria. Where else would you put it? Speaking of Victoria, both of these teams are searching for the spirit of victory. One win away from seeing them in the finals, which will be streaming a little bit later on. Ellipsis Pilcrow having taken half 8-3 over Zag Theory. We're going to see what response Zag Theory are able to bring in this second half to see if we can keep them in the match. It's Cassandra Plunkett to pick up for Pilcrow early. Finds Nicholson on the reset to Brown. A four-person cup crowding around the disc. Scuba up over the top. It's going to be eaten up by Batista, who's done some fantastic work reeling in some interesting disc choices. Manages to get an overbite from the cup and an inside shot then to Brown, who goes up over the top. Batista with a big huck looking for Liana Edwards. Is there anyone who can stop her? Not today. Liana Edwards puts the first point of the second half on the board as Pilcrow go 9 over Zag Theory's 3. So Pilcrow on 9 to come out on defense. Wanting to generate a break, wanting to put another point on the board. We are 41 minutes into our 80-minute game, a race to 15. We're seeing some last-minute instruction from Enting Hawk on the Zag Theory line. Waiting for those last few players to clear the line before Pilcrow kick things off. So we've heard the whistle, we've seen the signal from Oakley Mullen doing the majority of the pulling for the Pilcrow's defensive set. Nice and long, touching down with a bit of skim. Zag Theory taking a few steps to get into position, finds Wild near sideline with a sky ball. Pinned down by Gillett. Reeled in by Keller. And a pick has been called in the downfield space. Keller manages to get around Van der Kraan. Puts a big shot up, but there was contact on the throw. And an unnecessary but dramatic block from Ellipsis. You could see the flinch from the Ellipsis defender, Oakley Mullen. Well resolved. Ruiz puts the shot up, looking for Wild with the one hand. She wanted a shout out to Hadley, to Peter, to Dan. She's just gone and earned it. Putting a point on the board for Zag Theory. 4 against the Pilcrows 9. What a shot. Starts to peel over a little early. Great work by Gillett. to try and box. What a take. And now Zag Theory have to come back out on defense to see if they can generate a break and do it again. Big pull from Zag Theory. Touching down, fielded by Katie Locke. Not able to get the connection there. And that's going to give Zag Theory the opportunity that they need. Pilar Rogers to pick up and initiate. Middleton there, available as support, trying for an isolation shot. Goes up with two hands. See up to Pilar Rogers, and the score. Killen puts another one on the board. Zag Theory back within 4. Great chase by Katie Locke, but it's not going to be enough on that one. Inting Hawk with the disc. Big pull, little bit of inside edge. It's going to skim. Picked up by Davis. A horizontal stack. We're seeing that same cup form. Zoes, Wild, Mejia, Keller really trying to stifle the offense. They're using the width. Smith with the one-hand take as Davis tries to snip through the zone. Decides instead, pushing wide, finds Mullen. To Nicholson, to Smith, open in the end zone, but Edwards can't shake free. Angarita trying to make a crossfield cut. The handlers really dialed into their resets, keeping possession. It's Mullen. Across to Davis. Can't get Smith. Blades over to Angarita, right outside the end zone. Wobbly shot goes over the top. Can't be saved by Pilcrow. Zag Theory with a chance. Robin Wild lets it rip. There was pressure, but not enough as Zoes pulls it down with the one hand. Keller pushing past. Inting Hawk has it on the near sideline. Continues, but it fades away. Mejia can't pull that one down. That oppressive Zag Theory zone is in a great spot here to really apply pressure on the trap. Do Pilcrow have what it takes to get the disc off the sideline and recognize that when all of those players are committed around the disc, there's a lot of opportunity for them in the downfield space. Will they be able to capitalize? We see Davis to pick up. We've seen Zag instead collapse that zone back into a match defense. Nicholson goes wide to Mullen. Smith taking Inting Hawk deep, but it's the forehand side. Edwards gets a touch. Looks like the contact may have happened after the tip of the disc. But there's going to be a conversation regardless. So it looks like that's going to be an accepted foul, and Edwards is going to retain possession. Just a little bit of clarity about where players should be, what should have happened. We see Plunkett making a cut towards the near sideline. Edwards having to go back, finds Davis. Mullen available in support. Puts the shot up anyway, looking for Nicholas Smith to put Pilcrow on 10. Pilcrow to come out on defense. We're seeing those same defensive powerhouses. Mulcher, Longley, Brown, Chatterton. A huge amount of presence on the field at the moment. Stephanie Mulcher with the disc for Pilcrow. Puts the pull up, touches down at around the brick mark. Stevens, Pilar Rogers. The shimmy shake to lose Katie Locke and yards in the process, but keeping possession. Stevens goes wide, finds Thompson. Pushing far sideline, puts the huck up. Great chase down by Bates. But the pressure from Pilcrow just a little too much. Mulcher facing down a cup, but they get the reset away. Chatterton swings wide to Batista. Brown jogs the disc down as it comes in overhead. Quick shot through to Katie Locke, and they're working 1-2 punches. Severin tight on the mark. It's going to lead to a turnover. Brown a little disappointed. Alex Pilar Rogers with the disc, marked by Brown. Ferguson on a soft undercut. That's going to be eaten up by Katie Locke as she tries to make the big drive in the midfield. Same cup. We're seeing Severin, Bates and Ferguson crowding the disc, but letting the lateral shots go. Chatterton, back to Mulcher, through to Batista. Brown's not an option, shoots long. Pilar is underneath it. Pilar Rogers, Longley not able to secure it. Looks like there has been a call made. So Pilar Rogers going to maintain possession of the disc for Zag Theory. Fouls called. The cup that we saw from Pilcrow collapsing to a match defense. Now there's opportunities in the downfield. Taking a moment to recognize that Ferguson considerably deep of her defender. As that transition from zone to match has been made, Ferguson has an opportunity if Pillar Rogers can get the disc that far down the field under the pressure being put in by Kelly Brown for Pilcrow. Manages to find the line. Victoria Severin. Somehow, Pillar Rogers keeps it alive. Goes wide. Finds Clark. Tries to shoot through to Catherine Thompson, but not able to make it work this time. Brown to pick up for Pilcrow. Puts the shot up. Looking for Chatterton. Severin nips that one in the bud. And then a foul was called. So it looks like there's going to be a foul called. And a contested foul, so the disc is going to return to Kelly Brown. Pillar Rogers lets it go to Leggett. It's going to lead to a turnover. Ruby Stevens to pick up and initiate, supported by Pillar Rogers. Multiple cuts pushing into the underspace. The shake and bake. Pillar Rogers gets free, pushing towards the far sideline. Thompson gets a bite from Chatterton, but they'll run through from Batista. She's come out of nowhere. Mulchow with the inside break. Finds Brown. Putting a high shot up, looking for Chatterton. She's managed the read. Absolutely perfect position there on offense. A great throw. Fading in just outside the reach of the defender, trying for the box out. Pilcrow to go to 11 over Zag Theory's 5. Chatterton with a huge sky. Zag Theory to come out on offense. Puts the pull up, touching down about 5 or 6 meters in front of the brick mark, center field. Enting Hawk pushes through, finds Keller. Mejia on a nice give-go, pushing towards the far sideline. A laser show through, brought in one hand by Wild from Young. Back to Young. Wild on an upline, calling for a continuation. It doesn't happen. Enting Hawk calling a pick, or signaling the pick rather. Enting Hawk comes around, finds Keller, works back center field, find Young. The defensive pressure is mounting. Enting Hawk can't shake the defense. An inside shot is not going to connect, and that's what Pilcrow were hoping for. Foul going to be accepted. Young will retain position of the disc. We're still coming in on a pretty high stall count. She's under pressure. Puts through to Wild. Can she go another one on the board? Yes! Finds Tremaine for the score. Zag Theory back within 5. We're going to see that again. Seeing the separation there. Throwing it up over the top. Jade Tremaine right in the back corner for Zag Theory. What a reception. We've seen that quite a lot throughout the course of this tournament. Players putting up the shot, particularly when the defense is marking closer to the disc, putting it behind them, allowing the receiver as they turn to track the disc, allowing them to use their body as an additional protection to prevent the defense from making a play. We're 63 minutes into an 80-minute game. Pilcrow up by 5 on a current race to 15. Middleton with the pull. It's going to be picked up by Chatterton early. To recenter to Brown. We're seeing the Zag Theory zone come down again, nice and aggressive. Mullen playing offense. Working with Brown. The shot goes over the top. It's a scuba. Batista's able to scoop it up. Inside break finds Longley. Great run through by Nikki Tiffin. As the disc is released, it's going to be clean. Middleton. Pillar Rogers. Back to Middleton with the backhand shot going up. Too much fade towards the far sideline. It's going to come back in right in that back corner. Back corner of the playing field, I should say. Front corner of the end zone. But this is an opportunity here for Zag Theory to really pour on the pressure. 4 players up front, committing, taking away a lot of options. Pilcrow able to get the reset back to Brown, to Chatterton, to Longley. She's wide open. The zone slowly closes the jaws. Longley gets the disc away anyway, goes to Brown by way of Chatterton, finds Batista, far sideline, putting up another one of those big hucks. Reeled in by Danielle Marshall. The toes, nose. Phenomenal score to bring Pilcrow within 3 of a victory. Currently outpacing Zag Theory 2-1. If they are able to maintain this momentum, the game is going to be theirs, and we'll see them again in the finals later on this afternoon. Number 92 for Pilcrow, Batista, just absolutely uncorking. Monster forehands all game. Finding Danielle Marshall right inside the edge of the playing field. Dragging those toes on the ground to make sure that disc stays in bounds. Pilcrow to play defense now. Mulcher has the disc. Ruiz working with Enting Hawk. Enting Hawk puts the shot up. Looking for Badenhop. Finds her. She's not going to be in. And not going to be able to connect the assist for the score. But a great territorial play if Zag Theory can apply the defense. Pilcrow have shown that they are able to work around Gillett on an aggressive undercut. Quick reset to keep the disc moving. Leggett now. Gillett puts it up for Davis. Davis with the blade, not going to be able to block that one. Badenhop with a great attempt, but Leggett reels it down, finds Gillett. Line drive straight to the center. That's going to be a point on the board. Lock to Davis. Lock to Davis for the score. Pilcrow now within 2. Davis with the little Fisher and Paykel cut puts the defender in the spin cycle. And that's going to do Pilcrow 2 away from a win. Pilcrow on defense now. A little bit of a roll, leaves Zag Theory scrambling. Middleton to Tiffin. Run through by Liana Edwards to the surprise of very few. Really making her mark on this match. A nice undercut to receive the line shot from Mullen. Mullen again. Liana Edwards with the bookends to start and end that possession with the touches on the disc. Just a fantastic performance to put Pilcrow 1 away from a win. Just amazing performance by Pilcrow. 1 away from an appearance and a final match. That would make this their third streamed game of the tournament. Incredibly well deserved based on the performances that they've shown us so far. Zag Theory's first appearance on stream in this tournament in a semi-final match. Doing a fantastic job, but yet to really have an answer to a few key parts of the Pilcrow game. We've seen Mullen, we've seen Brown, we've got Liana Edwards, Louisa Batista, just doing huge amounts of work. Lots of give-go, short passes, safe resets, but not afraid to uncork the champagne when it's time to celebrate and let off those monster forehands. The pulls of Davis as well. Outside in, there's going to be a little bit of roll. Not a huge amount. Stops early. The chase is a little sluggish, but it's still enough to stop the first couple passes. Dowling has it. Wild now marked by Mulcher. Couldn't quite connect with Dowling. And that's going to give Batista an opportunity. That forehand wants to finish. There's a touch, but it's a chance. It's going to be good. That is going to be the end of the game, folks. Danielle Marshall, by way of Louisa Batista, with a little bit of assistance from a Zag Theory block, is going to be what it takes to see the Pilcrow in the final. Zag Theory, a hard-fought game. Hard-fought to the very last. But Ellipsis have done it. We'll see them again very, very soon. A fantastic match. Could not be happier to be here watching this live and giving a bit of context for those folks watching at home. The Australian Ultimate Championships 2024 Division II in Shepparton, Victoria. I'm Blue Munro with the ULTI.TV crew. Big friends of the Australian Flying Disc Federation, Association, Federal Association, Australian Federation of Disc Associations. AFDA. Your AFDA, my AFDA. After 8 minutes. We're going to be back very soon with the Open final. It's going to be a fantastic match, and then the Women's Division final to close out the day. We'll be back very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
ULTI.TV